Joining us again on the Sunrise Morning Show is Sarah Bassil from In Defense of Christians, joining us today from Lebanon. Good morning, Sarah.
Hello, Annie. It's good afternoon for me, but good morning to you. How are you doing?
I am doing just fine and very happy to be speaking to you so long distance. How long have you been in Lebanon now, and what are you up to there?
I've been here for about a little over a week, and I've just been with my family and really taking a look around what's happening in the country and observing a couple of different things. I'm doing a little bit of work and just kind of taking in everything that's happening in the country right now.
Okay, I did not know that you had family in Lebanon. How have they been doing?
They've struggled. Everyone's really struggling economically, but that's not unique to my family. Everyone's having hardships between managing a pandemic and an economic crisis and a political crisis, and so that's been a struggle for everyone. But thankfully, we're all relying on each other and making sure that everyone's taken care of. But everyone is really hurting, and really the past week I've observed a couple different situations that have been very alarming, and I'd love to talk to you a little bit about that.
Well, please do. Let us know what has alarmed you since arriving there.
Well, okay, I really want to talk about the Lebanese lira. So as your listeners have known, because we've talked about it a couple times, it was pegged to the dollar for a couple of decades at 1,500 Lebanese lira to a dollar. After about 2 years ago, when there was hyperinflation, it went around 12,800, 12,500. And that's really where it's been at for a couple months now. However, in the 1 week that I've been here, it's shot up to 13 and then gone back to 12.
Wow.
What situations like this do, it wrecks the whole economy. It either stunts it or devalues everything. And so in the 1 week that I've been here, it's shot up this much. And what this does is that it makes supermarkets pull up their prices, and then people are still not having their salaries adjusted. So if you have a family of 4, you used to be able to feed them with 50,000 liras. Now that gets you maybe a bag of potatoes. It doesn't do anything anymore. The devaluation of it has stunted the Lebanese economy, and the Lebanese people are having such a hard time adjusting because there's no reparations, there's no help from the government, there's nothing really helping them get back on their feet. And it's being further exaggerated by the fact that there's a pandemic. You know, people aren't going out to restaurants the way that they used to. They're not doing activities the way that they used to. And so that combination has really stunted the Lebanese society, and who is suffering the most? The everyday people.
And imagine
the government has subsidized, yeah.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I imagine that the uncertainty regarding the value of the currency is just as bad as the devaluing itself.
For sure. You know, I came and I had American dollars, and I remember when I would talk to my family, and they'd be like, don't spend your American dollars, convert it to Lebanese lira. It has more like buying value. And I didn't understand it, but if you don't have American dollars here, your money is worthless. And so you convert it and you pump some money into the economy, people are able to kind of use it more effectively. And so that's one of the things we're advocating for, is a little bit more humanitarian aid to the region or to the country. The Lebanese government, we know, is corrupt, it's inefficient, and it's just not working. But we know when we give to NGOs that are on the ground, that's one way to help. When we give to the Lebanese armed forces, that's an institution that's working. There are different avenues that we can help, and this is one of them. The Lebanese government has subsidized some of the everyday goods and gas, but the moment those are lifted, which every day people live on edge, not knowing if they're going to be able to fill up their car tomorrow, but the moment that those subsidies are lifted, the Lebanese lira will devalue by 50, 60%. Right now it's at 12,800. This morning it was at 12,500, by the way. And it will go up to 20,000. And so these numbers are very alarming because people's salaries are still very low. People are getting a third of their salary, a fourth of their salary, but doing the same amount of work. And so it's very alarming, number one. But I want to talk about why it's alarming. So we know that people are suffering and aren't able to eat and aren't able to, live a life. But what this means for the Christian community is, not only in Lebanon but in the region, is that Lebanon is really truly the last protector of the Christian faith in the region. When Iraqi Christians were facing a genocide, a huge Assyrian community came and they lived in Beirut. The same thing in different regions of different countries in the region. So this is the last country in the Middle East and North Africa where Christians are not only participating in the government, but are leaders. There are leaders in parliament. There are leaders in the cabinet. There are leaders in the army. And so the moment that Christians keep going and leaving the country in the numbers that they are now, the less influence they have, and Christians become more and more persecuted in this region. And so we want them to stay. We want them to stay not only because they have good relations with the West, but because this is their ancestral homeland, and they need to be able to stay where they are protected. And we want Lebanon to be stabilized because it's a message of hope. I know you'll see this in a little bit, but yesterday I was at Our Lady of Lebanon, which is majestic statue of the Virgin Mary,
yes,
that overlooks the Junior, which is the ancestral homeland of the Maronite Catholic Church. And I did this little video where I talked about how important it is for us to help the Christians, because as Pope John Paul II said, Lebanon is more than a country. It is a message to the world. And we want to promote that plurality and promote that stability through stabilization of the economy, through stabilization of the government. And there's not much we can do, but there's one really important thing, and I'd love to call on your listeners to do, is to visit indefenseofchristians.org and to send a letter to your member of Congress asking them to support Patriarch Rai's calls for active neutrality and a UN-backed international conference to Lebanon. These are two very important things that need to be done. Lebanon keeps getting pulled into regional conflicts that it does not belong to, and we need help from the international support, from the international community to help this country, this piece of land that is glorious. I visited a church the other day that's from the 7th century, and
wow,
that is amazing. We want to preserve that ancient history, and those are just a couple of the things that we can do right now.
Absolutely. indefenseofchristians.org. Click on their Take Action tab, and right there at the top, when you click on Take Action, you can find quite a few action items involving Lebanon.
We got to protect the Christians, Annie.
Yes, we have got to defend the Christians. indefenseofchristians.org. We've been talking to Sarah Bassil. Sarah, we will be praying for you over there and hope to catch up with you again to find out about the rest of your trip. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, it's 12 till. Danielle Bean joins us next.